Time to expose the hypocrites. Ladies and gentlemen, this will only take a moment.
Columbine.
I like the way you die, boy.
Kill all the white people in the movie. How great is that?
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek. Newtown.
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 How many more? How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
Okay, I can understand why people like that.
How many more movie theaters?
Here we go. Yes.
How many more houses of faith?
Yeah, that's gangster style.
How many more shopping malls? Let's kill it. You talking to me, bitch?
Easy there, fella.
Whoa.
Okay.
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
Enough.
It's kind of cool, actually.
Enough. Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American. As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan.
You, unlike me, lack the ball.
No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
She should know how to respond.
Enough.
Well, now you're the dead guy. And he just put the gun.
Enough.
You know, it's frustrating to me to see all the propaganda behind all these shootings and, you know, all this push to ban certain kind of weapons. It's retarded to see how the police officers, everybody in law enforcement, everybody who has to deal with shooters, they are armed with weapons. But then you don't want to arm the teachers. It's retarded. And so, you know, the teachers, nobody in the school has a gun. It's a freaking gun-free zone, quote, unquote. A gun-free zone. So when somebody comes in, they don't have any means to defend themselves or the students. Look at this. This is a CNN article. Teachers trained to face school shooter. This is so retarded. It's talking about people, look at this, doing knees on a shooter. This is a suicide mission. Look at this. This lady right here they're teaching her how to do a freaking Jet Li move where you disarm your attacker by grabbing the end of the pistol. Yeah, I mean, there's some validity to it. You can't, but it's retarded. Nobody's going to succeed at doing, these ladies aren't going to succeed at doing this crap when somebody's trying to shoot at them. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Look at this.
As a teacher, my job is to educate my students, but it's also to protect them and to keep them safe.
Naomi Winkler doesn't want what happened in Connecticut to stand a chance of happening in San Antonio.
To have to take somebody down and to protect your life
What's
and the life of
that lady
others,
gonna do?
it is a scary thought, and so it can deter others from doing it.
The
That's
course
a
is offered free
suicide.
of charge to teachers,
That's
coaches,
retarded.
anyone who works for a school.
Y'all been watching too much TV, man. Look at this. They tell them to throw a stapler. Look at this crap. The tactics and strategies were tailored toward a school setting, instructor said, and part of the workshop focused on the school and a classroom setup. Teachers were told which ordinary items found in a classroom might be used as weapons. For example, throwing a stapler at the shooter. This is the training to defend your children in school. Throwing a stapler at the shooter or using it to hit an attacker in the temple. If scissors were available, educators were told to aim for the eyes. So you're basically sending out these ladies to grab guns to tackle guys and pound them out. Man, this is retarded, man. Have we really sunk that low to where this is what we have to defend our kids with? You're going to throw this? You're going to freaking throw a stapler? Even if it is a more heavy-duty stapler, you're going to throw this at somebody shooting at the kids? You know, you're going to attack them. You're going to grab some scissors. And I mean, I commend the bravery, but bravery does not excuse negligence when you're protecting kids. It's retarded to have a gun-free zone. Nobody, I dare you liberal retards to put big old signs out in front of your yard and say, I don't have guns. There are no guns in my house. All you guys do it. Put them all out there. I don't have guns. My house is gun free. I have no weapons here. I have a stapler and I have scissors. And if you come in with guns, I will attack you with my stapler and my scissors. Why don't you put that stuff out in front of your house? Or how about this? How about we arm the teachers so that they won't have to do freaking matrix and lose their life? It's freaking, are we that retarded? Everybody who has to deal with shooters has a gun. Police have guns. There are no mass shootings in police stations for a reason. Okay. Arm the freaking teachers. Don't have them using this when a guy comes in. You can give them a pistol. Just a pistol. It don't have to be anything. And they can just cover that door. There's one door. They can cover that door when a guy's coming in. Bam. It's that simple. And if you got other teachers, let me tell you something. A teacher could bring a gun into the school anyway. They could stick a gun in their purse, a gun in their wallet, but you say, well, we trust them not to do that because they're law-abiding citizens. We trust them with our children with this job. If you trust them not to do it, trust them to do it. Because if they wanted to bring a gun in, they could. Let them have a gun. It's retarded, man. This is what you liberals are saying to use to protect our kids. Let me tell you something. If a guy comes in with a pistol, and they got this, they're going to get, these are not freaking weapons, man. This is a freaking stapler and some scissors. It's retarded, man. Look at this stuff, man. It don't matter what kind of gun. You know, this is propaganda. You know why? Because people are going to all these retarded links to avoid saying, you know what? Hey, let's follow instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and say, what do we do when somebody's got a gun and they're shooting people? You know, which in every other situation, you know, somebody else with a gun takes them out. But instead of doing that, instead of training the teachers, you know, hey, use a gun. It's easy enough to aim at this, you know, 3-foot wide door and shoot somebody in this 3-foot wide door. Can you do that? That's much easier than to teach this lady to become Jet Li. But because, you know, we're so freaking smart, you guys are retarded, man. Honestly, you guys are retarded, man. You guys are retarded. Why don't you go put big old, why don't you go to the store and get you a stapler and some scissors, huh? And then put a big old sign out in front of your yard that says, I don't have no guns. I got a stapler and I got scissors. And if you break in my house with a gun, I will throw my stapler at you. Why don't you do that? Instead of trying to push that on our kids, huh? Why don't we arm the teachers? It's stupid to have gun-free zones where these shootings keep on occurring, and you say nobody can have a gun. You know, instead of having a gun, the common sense thing, we're going to try to take away this certain kind of gun. It's freaking retarded, man. Any kind of gun could go in there and have its way when all you got's a stapler. Idiots. Are you that retarded? But I guess you just spoon-fed all this propaganda bullcrap to disarm the American populace, and you just go right along with it because you're an idiot. Because you don't have critical thinking. You're just a spoon-fed retard. Sorry to break it to you, but let me tell you something. You know, this right here, this right here, this ain't happening. Let me show you something. This right here, this ain't gonna happen. This right here,
to stand a chance of happening in San Antonio.
To have to take somebody down and to
this
protect
lady's
your
not
life and
gonna
the
stop
life
an
of
active
others, it
shooter
is a scary thought.
with scissors and a
So it
stapler.
can
This
deter
lady right
others
here,
from
this
doing
dude's
it.
not gonna look.
Forces offered free of
This is
charge
not.
to
This
teachers,
is not gonna
coaches,
happen, folks.
anyone who...
I'm sorry. You're living in La La Land, and you would rather subject our kids to being protected by scissors and staplers in the face of, it don't matter, AR-15, a shotgun, a pistol, a butcher knife. What are you going to ban, a freaking shovel? If anybody comes in there with anything, a spear, they can have their way when somebody's got scissors and a stapler. You can't see through this bull crap? You're idiots, man. You're freaking idiots. Wake up, man. I hope you guys aren't that retarded, man. But evidently some people are, you know, because, I mean, you just see it in the media. It's frustrating to see this retarded crap, okay? You go ahead then, you know. You go ahead, man. Hey, maybe this is a new era of, you know, how to address active shooters that I'm just not into. You know, maybe police have been missing it. You know, maybe everybody's been missing it. And maybe, you know, guns aren't the best way to address a situation where somebody has a gun. You know, I see police shooting people in videos that just have knives because they won't drop the knife. Well, man, maybe that's overkill. Maybe they just need a stapler, you know. But, you know, they'll do that to protect their lives, but to protect our kids' lives, you won't let them have a gun. You won't let the teachers have a gun. Instead, you'll train them to be Matrix because you're retarded. Because you're retarded, and you got your head too far up your butt. You're being fed too much bull crap, and you're just eating it up without any critical thinking. And you're an idiot.
Today in New Orleans, they got a lot tougher on the holdouts.
Police department, anyone home?
Not only the flooded areas, but New Orleans' driest and wealthiest neighborhoods, too.
Police department!
The police and National Guard going street by street, house to house.
We need to make sure, too, that whenever we knock on the doors, people refuse to leave. We need to make note, call it in.
They say there are no orders to use force, just strong persuasion, sometimes entering open houses with guns drawn, and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
You say guns will be taken? No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
That happened today in this wealthy neighborhood where homeowners had armed themselves to protect their mansions. Residents were handcuffed on the ground. In the end, police took their weapons but let them stay in their homes.
They were a little bit threatened because our weapons were bigger than their weapons.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city. This guard unit occupied a church, using it as a base camp. They had to leave a note because they could not get hold of the pastor to get permission.
It is surreal. Yeah, you never expect to do this in your own country.
Chris Montgomery says he'd rather be in Iraq than patrolling American neighborhoods.
Walking up and down these streets, you don't want to think about the stuff that you're gonna have to do if somebody pops around the corner.
Be shooting in America.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you in here.
We're not gonna do that.
I don't want you in here, period.
But there's a mandatory evacuation.
I know all about it.
Well, Patricia Coney's protests were to no avail. They moved her out of there, and she is now out of the city.
No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
It was a human drama with emotions and tensions running high. Patty Coney is still trying to recover physically and emotionally.
They really did a number on me.
From the day police forced her from her home.
It was traumatic. All of a sudden, they were banging on the front door, the side door, and the back door. And they said, "Let us in."
Patty tried to explain. She was on dry land, she had plenty of food and water, and didn't want to abandon her dogs. But it didn't matter.
If you see 6 or 8 police that look like linebackers pushing you in a corner, you're in shock. I'm saying, look at all my food. I got plenty of food. They kept pushing me back, and ended up like this.
Then, Patty showed them a small revolver she was carefully holding in the palm of her hand. A camera crew was there to capture what unfolded next.
I said, "It's not even loaded." And I dropped it on the floor.
You got a gun?
Well, they punched me in the face. Look at my black and blue marks. Look at what they did to me. They dragged me out of here. I really thought they were going to kill me. I really did.
We were coming back across the lake is when we got stopped by Coast Guard and St. Tammany Sheriff's Department and the National Guard by gunpoint.
We had identification. We were coming back from a house that we were taking the weapons out of so criminals wouldn't break in and steal them. And we've had policemen tell us that that's what they wanted us to do, but not the sheriff in St. Tammany. They just wanted to confiscate them from us.
We felt like criminals at the time when they come up to us with M16s or AR-15s, whatever it was, but there were 4 of them with rifles and holding on us with our hands in the air until they got in our boat.
So they got on the boat and they asked us, "Do you have any loaded weapons?" Yes, we do. They're in the 2 back compartments. Wayne went to show them where the gun was, and he screams, "Don't touch it. Don't even move. I'll get it."
I felt like it was un-American and then we had been violated when they took like I say, we were shell-shocked. We were just sitting around looking at each other and said, "We just got our guns taken away from them."
They took them. And they didn't have a right to take them. They didn't have a reason to take them. That was the thing. We did nothing wrong. But they took them anyway. He said, "Be thankful we're taking your guns here." Why should I be thankful? Well, if they catch you with them on land, they're going to take you straight to jail.
We live in proof that all they have to do is say, "Look, this is the law."
You had that feeling that you were violated. They took something from you. They stole something from you. That's the only way to put it. They took something that they didn't have a right to take.
What'd you come and get my gun for? I'm a good citizen.
Marie Galatis, a Baptist minister, faced the same story in her neighborhood. the same threats by thugs, the same lack of police, but she never once felt afraid.
And I had my Bible, and I had my gun, and I knew I was safe. And I tell you what, I'm an Annie Oakley if you come fool with me or my family. I'm gonna let you have it, buddy.
Marie knows she was lucky. She was never forced to leave home and didn't have her firearm confiscated.
It's going against my constitutional rights as a citizen.
But Marie remembers how upset she got when the police department threatened to take her firearm.
You're letting the thugs get away with everything, and you're coming to honest, good citizens and taking away their protection, and it is wrong, wrong, wrong.
What I feel is that we're losing control of who we are as a nation.
Robert Zoss was forced to evacuate when a tree destroyed both of his family's homes.
Loaded with dogs, kids, people.
Then, as they were exiting through downtown, the unexpected happened.
These cops came out of nowhere, said stop, and asked, do we have weapons in the car? And I told him, yeah, I do. He said, get out the vehicle. Had us all sit cross-legged in front while they searched the vehicle. I had a .22 long rifle. My tenant's girlfriend had a .22 pearl handle revolver given to her by her grandmother or grandfather.
But Robert couldn't believe what he watched police do next to his rifle and his friend's pearl handle revolver.
I saw them smash her gun given to her by grandmother, grandfather, just against the curb. The other things that they busted up, the .22 rifle they busted up, these were police officers that went too far. We didn't have any rights. I mean, they treated us like criminals. They treated us like if we were in a third world country. I was scared because these guys weren't doing it by the book. There was mayhem. New Orleans police did not have control of the city anymore. So the only plan they thought, I guess, was to take the guns away from the people. Heed the warning of what this was. You know, this is like Australia. All of a sudden, boom, they got our rights.